Nneka, let us run away together and get married. You know I love you so much.
Ebuka, please, let's not do this.
In a land where love is whispered beneath the trees, in a village where duty and dreams collide, comes a story of two hearts, tested by fate, bound by love.
In a small village called Omaha, everyone knew each other. The people were kind, the air was fresh, and children ran around barefoot, laughing. In that village lived a beautiful girl named Nneka. She had the brightest smile and the softest voice. She helped her mother in the market every day, selling vegetables. There was also a boy named Ebuka. He was tall, dark, and strong. He worked on his father's farm and was always full of jokes. Everyone said he would make a good husband one day. But Ebuka did not care about what people said. He only cared about Nneka. Nneka and Ebuka grew up together. They played by the riverside, fetched water from the stream, and watched the stars at night. As they got older, their friendship turned into love. Every evening, they met under the old udala tree near the hill. They talked about their dreams. Ebuka wanted to open a big farm, and Nneka wanted to go to nursing school. "I will marry you one day," Ebuka told her one night, holding her hand. "I will wait for you." Nneka smiled, no matter how long it takes. But life in the village was not always fair. One day Nneka's father called her. He said a rich trader from the city had come to ask for her hand in marriage. The man had cars, money, and promised to take care of her family. Nneka begged her father to say no. She cried and cried, but her father had already said yes. Ebuka heard the news from the palm wine tapper. He rushed to Nneka's house, but her mother said she was not allowed to see him anymore. He sat alone, under the udala tree, waiting, hoping. Ebuka waited under the udala tree every evening. He hoped Nneka would come, even just to say goodbye, but she never came. One night, as the moon shone brightly and the crickets sang, Nneka came quietly. She wore a wrapper and had tears in her eyes. "Ebuka," she said softly. He stood up quickly. "Nneka, I thought I would never see you again." She ran into his arms, crying. "I did not want to marry that man. I begged my father, but he said I must obey. He says love cannot feed a family." Ebuka's voice shook. "But we had plans. We were supposed to build our life together." "I know," she whispered. "But my father says this is best for all of us." They sat under the tree, holding hands in silence. The stars blinked above them. Nneka placed something in Ebuka's palm. It was a necklace he had made for her long ago from cowrie shells. "Keep this," she said, "so you won't forget me." "I can never forget you, Nneka," Ebuka replied. "You are in my heart forever." A week later, the whole village gathered for Nneka's traditional marriage. There were drums, dancing, and cooking pots everywhere. But Nneka's smile was missing. She looked like a bird trapped in a cage. Ebuka didn't go to the ceremony. He stayed by the river, throwing stones into the water, thinking about how dreams can be stolen. From that day, things changed. Ebuka stopped smiling. He worked on the farm from morning till night and barely talked to anyone. Nneka was taken to the city by her new husband. Nobody heard from her again. Months passed. Rain came, the sun came, and the mango trees bore fruit again. But nothing felt the same for Ebuka. He still walked past the udala tree every day, hoping Nneka would return. He stopped making jokes. The village people noticed. "Love has broken Ebuka," the old women said. Meanwhile, in the faraway city, Nneka was not happy. Her husband, the rich trader, was never around. He traveled often, and when he came back, he hardly spoke to her. She stayed in a big house with shiny floors, but it felt cold. No one laughed like in the village. No one played under trees. No one called her Adam like Ebuka used to. One night, Nneka sat by the window, holding the old cowrie shell necklace. In her hand, She had hidden it in her box. Tears rolled down her face. Back in Nkalogu, Ebuka began to write letters he never sent. He wrote to Nneka about his day, about the farm, about the river, about the way the udala tree now looked older. But one day, a strange thing happened. A young girl from the next village came to buy yams from Ebuka's farm. After collecting her yams, she whispered, "Are you Ebuka?" He nodded. She looked around and handed him a small folded paper. She said, "You should read it." When you're alone, Ebuka took the note, heart beating fast. His hands shook as he opened it. It was Nneka's handwriting. "Ebuka, I am not happy. I miss the river. I miss the tree. I miss you. Every day I wish I had run away with you. If I come back, will you still be there?" Ebuka stared at the note, his heart heavy and full. He looked up at the udala tree. The wind blew gently, just like the night they last sat together. Ebuka read the letter again and again. His heart beat fast, like a drum at a village festival. For the first time in many months, he smiled just a little. He folded the letter neatly and placed it in the small wooden box where he kept her cowrie. Necklace. From that day, he returned to the udala tree every evening. He cleaned the ground beneath it, sat on a small mat, and waited. He didn't know when she would come, or if she even could, but he waited. Back in the city, Nneka made a decision. Her husband had traveled again. That night, she packed a small bag. She didn't take clothes or gold. She only took the things that mattered: her necklace, the last photo she had of her mother, and her slippers. She boarded a small bus early the next morning. The bus moved slowly over rough roads, passing towns and forests. Nneka held the necklace tight in her hand and looked out the window. Her heart was loud in her chest. She didn't know what would happen, but she was going home. The sun was setting when she reached Nkalogu. Everything looked the same: the dusty roads, the children running, the smell of roasted corn. But something inside her had changed. She walked quickly toward the udala tree, her eyes wide with hope. Ebuka was already there. He sat, resting his back on the tree, holding a piece of wood he had been carving. When he looked up and saw her, he froze. "Nneka," he whispered, not sure if he was dreaming. She nodded, tears already falling. "I came back," she said. "I don't know what will happen next, but I couldn't stay away." Ebuka stood up slowly. For a moment, they just stared at each other. No words, no noise, only the sound of the leaves above them. Then he held her, and the pain they both carried melted for a moment. But just as peace touched them again, a loud voice shouted from behind the bushes. "Nneka!" They turned quickly. It was her husband's driver. Her husband's driver, a tall man with a sharp face and dark sunglasses, stepped out from behind the bushes. His voice was loud and angry. "Madam, your husband said I should bring you back right now." Ebuka moved in front of Nneka. "She's not going anywhere. She came here on her own." The driver laughed. "You think you can stop me?" Her husband owns 3 shops in the city. He said if I don't bring her back, I shouldn't return. Nneka held Ebuka's arm tightly. Her voice was low but firm. "I am not his prisoner. He doesn't love me. I don't want to go back." The driver pointed at her. "You'll bring shame to your family. Do you want your father to be called a failure?" Ebuka stepped forward. "Tell her husband to come himself if he wants to take her." More villagers were coming out now. Some women from nearby farms had stopped working. Children stood behind trees, peeking on old man. Papa Ozo walked slowly to the scene. He was the oldest man in Nkalogu, with a white beard and wise eyes. He looked at the driver and said calmly, "This is not the city. Here, we don't force people." The driver clicked his tongue. "I'll be back," he warned. Then he walked away. kicking dust as he went. The people started to whisper. Some were shocked. Others were proud of Nneka's courage. That night, Nneka and Ebuka sat again under the udala tree. She laid her head on his shoulder. "I don't know what will happen next," she said. Ebuka looked up at the stars. "We'll face it together." But deep down, they both knew that trouble was not over. Her father might still be angry. Her husband might return, and the village. Some people might turn their backs. Still, Nneka had made her choice, and under the udala tree, in the quiet night, two hearts beat as one brave, scared but full of love. The next morning, the village was buzzing. Some people praised Nneka. She followed her heart, they said. Others shook their heads. She has brought shame to her family, they whispered. But Nneka and Ebuka didn't hide. They walked through the village. Together, heads held high. When they reached Nneka's father's compound, he was sitting on a wooden bench, staring into space. Her mother stood at the doorway, wiping her eyes with the end of her wrapper. "Papa," Nneka said, kneeling down. "He didn't speak. Please, forgive me. I know I disobeyed you, but I was not happy. I couldn't live that life anymore." Her father's eyes were red, but he didn't look at her. "You think life is about happiness?" he said. "It's about duty, about sacrifice. I gave that man my word. I know, Papa, but I couldn't lie to myself." "I couldn't lie to you." Ebuka stepped forward. "Sir, I may not be rich, but I love your daughter. I will work day and night to care for her." Her father turned his gaze to Ebuka, stared for a long moment, then stood up slowly and walked into the house without saying a word. Nneka's mother came closer and held her daughter tightly. "My child," she whispered, "love is not a crime, but this path you have chosen will not be easy." That night, Nneka stayed with her mother. Ebuka walked home alone under the stars, wondering what tomorrow would bring. 3 days later, a black jeep drove into the village. The rich trader Nneka's husband had come. He stepped out, wearing dark glasses and a fine white outfit. 4 men came with him. They didn't smile. He marched straight to Nneka's father's house. Villagers followed behind, whispering. "I want my wife," he said. Nneka stepped out of the house and stood before him. "I am not coming back." He raised his voice. "You think this boy can give you what I can? You'll suffer with him." Ebuka arrived just then. He had heard the noise from his farm. He didn't speak. He simply stood beside Nneka and held her hand. The rich man laughed. "You've made your choice. Good. But don't come back crying when hunger slaps you." He turned to Nneka's father. "You will regret this. I promise you." Then he walked back to his car and drove off, dust rising behind him like a storm. The crowd was silent. Nneka's father stood by the door, watching everything. He looked at Nneka. "You've brought fire into this house." "But Papa," she said, "sometimes love is worth the fire." Life wasn't easy for Nneka and Ebuka. After the rich trader left the village, some villagers mocked them. They whispered things like, "Let's see how long love can cook soup," or "She left gold for sand." But Nneka and Ebuka didn't listen. Every morning, Ebuka went to the farm before the sun came up. He worked hard planting yams, cassava, vegetables, and even started raising chickens. Nneka joined him too. She sold the produce at the village market, and soon people from nearby towns started asking for their food. Then, one lucky day, a businessman from the city came to Ngologu. He was looking for someone to supply fresh farm produce to his restaurant chain. People in the village pointed him to Ebuka's farm. The businessman tasted Ebuka's tomatoes and smiled. "You're the one I've been looking for," he said. That same month, Ebuka signed his first big contract. It was worth millions of naira. He expanded his farm, hired workers, and even bought a delivery van. He also built a small farmhouse at the edge of the village. People couldn't believe it. The boy they once mocked had now become one of the richest young farmers in the region. 6 months later, Ebuka and Nneka had their traditional wedding. But this time, it was grander than her first marriage. There were drummers, dancers, and colorful decorations everywhere. Guests came from many villages. Even the man from the city who gave Ebuka the contract attended and brought a gift. Cow Nneka's father sat in front, proud and quiet. At the end of the ceremony, he stood up, walked to Ebuka and Nneka, and said, "I was wrong. You have brought honor to this family. I forgive you, my daughter." Nneka hugged him, tears in her eyes. Her mother smiled wide and said, "You see? You followed your heart, and God followed you with blessings." That night, under the stars, Ebuka held Nneka's hand and whispered, "I told you one day we would be happy." Nneka smiled. "Now, I am not just married to a rich man, I'm married to the man I love, Toyers." Later, Nneka gave birth to twins, a boy and a girl. The village women danced and sang for 3 days. Ebuka named the boy Chimdi and the girl Alubub. People came from far and near to see the twins of the famous farmer and his beautiful wife. Some who once mocked them now used their story to teach their daughters that true love, patience, and faith can build the sweetest home. And every evening, when the sun was going down, Ebuka, Nneka, and the twins would walk to the old Udala tree, sit under its shade, and tell them the story of a love that was tested but never broken.